Hey everybody, welcome to another awesome day in crypto. We're going to be talking about crypto markets. We're going to be shaking things up a little bit today, though. We're going to be starting off with Uranus, which is launched on Chain. That is a meme coin, and of course, Uranus is a little cheeky if you get that. So that's going to be on Chain, the first omni-chain token protocol from the TitanX X28 community. So that's going to be fun to see that play out. And we're also going to obviously cover later on. We're going to cover general crypto, Pulsechain, and more TitanX updates as well, including Ouroboros, the big lending platform, and USDX stablecoin. I've been covering that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. I also have been doing some special shows on global politics towards the end of the day, my time. So I hope you guys have been enjoying that as well. I'm going to probably keep that up. I am having a bit of fun with that. So let's get on to it. We got Wookie in the house there. Good to see Wookie. Wookie's on board, Miss Ford, and that's Wookie's. That's the way he talks. That's the way he feels. He just expresses himself. Good to see you, Wookie, in the house. We got Brian, our community leader. What's up, folks? Always good to see Brian with that US American shield there. Looks fantastic. Thinking of America, Trump was at the Daytona 500. His plane flew over Daytona 500. That's the racetrack for those that are not familiar in Florida. Man, it was impressive. Air Force One flying across the flying into Daytona 500 racetrack over the top of everybody. Amazing. And of course, they had jets going over the thing, and obviously the super fast V8 cars, I guess they are, going around the track. President Trump went around in his big black car tank thing and had all the Day 500 cars behind him. It was absolutely glorious. If you haven't checked it out, go check that out. America's well and truly back with President Trump there. Had his little granddaughter as well, taking photos and meeting all the drivers. It was pretty spectacular. So great to see America on the front foot there. Now we got Hedgehog in the house there. Good to see you. Woohoo! And Alias as well as in the house. LFG, let's go. Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun there. So crypto markets, talking about Uranus, launching on base. So let's get straight into it without further ado. And of course, here we are on TitanX. TitanX at the moment. We're going to quickly check that before we get into Uranus, and then we're going to come back and have a look at the rest of the TitanX tokens. But let's quickly see how TitanX itself is going on the daily here. So this is the daily chart. This is USD. We can see that it's right at the bottom at the moment, trying to hold on to this 3100 mark. So 60 is 3100 in US terms. Trying to hold on to that bottom. Pretty important that it does hold on here. And of course, we also want to see the ratio to RAPD. So let's have a look at that. Everyone's hunting for that wave 3. Hasn't started yet. Still trying to hold on to that bottom in that sideways channel. So let's see if that holds. At the moment, we've also got ETH, which is at 9 zeros, 1168. So we're also pushing that a little bit, trying to hold on to those 9 zeros. Let's see how we go with that as well. Trying to get one of these uptrends like a wave 3. Let's see how we get on there. Early days. Now we know that Jake Sharp and Eric from TitanX founder and DragonX founder are working hard on a number of protocols. So that's all getting ready to go. And of course, X28, the omni-chain version of TitanX, is already being launched. So things are just heating up, and that's why we're going to get into Uranus meme coin today because that is just launched on Chain. So I was asleep while it launched. Because obviously different time zones in the world, but I've woken up and checked out some of the stats there. So we're going to get straight into it. So let's go straight into it. If you're on TitanX Hub, which is the ecosystem for TitanX, I'm going to post that in the chat if you haven't checked it out. So let's have a look at that. Bam. Now it's early days. Only been out for about 7 hours. So you can check it out on TitanX Hub. Now we're going to scroll all the way down because that's where you'll find it. And of course, that makes it number 34 projects. So the last 2 projects that have just launched, Uranus, the meme coin. Now, of course, it's got reflection taxes, and it's also got a buy and burn. So it's pretty cool on the buy side coming over to Chain. I'm not sure how many of these kind of tokens they have. So it's going to be pretty awesome. It's also over time going to build up a LP web. So as more protocols launch by the dude, by James, the more web's going to happen, the more transactions that could potentially happen with the MEV bots. So you're getting in nice and early on this one. The other one is USDX Ouroboros. That's launched, of course. we're going to be covering that too after we talk about Uranus there, which was just launched 7 hours ago. And of course, Ouroboros has been out for about 4 days. So we're going to be talking about that too. So hold on to your hat. So let's jump on to the Uranus website. This is where we are at the moment. So it's just starting off with the buy and burn. Hopefully they're going to build out a lot more stats on this page, and also a buy now button and things like that. So stay tuned for all that. I'm sure that's going to come, and maybe some marketing promotion material. Now we've got total Uranus burn at the moment, $780 worth. The buy and burn's holding just under $82,000. And of course, there's about $26 in the buy and burn for call, with the incentive fee being 30 basis points. And so that's relatively small at the moment, about 89,000 X28. But of course, remember, base chain is super cheap chain compared to a lot of other chains. So it's quite easy to do business there. We'll get that called probably every so often as well. I'm not sure if there's a time frame for that call. I don't know whether it's 5 minutes. Let's have a look on the question mark there. It doesn't have the time for the buy and burn. Typically, these have been 5 minutes. Let's look at the top here. The functioning will buy Uranus using X28 and burn it. This provides on-market buy pressure, pushing up the price. Yeah, I don't see a 5 minute time frame on here. Typically, that's what's been the case for a lot of TitanX projects. Now, remember, this is the first project on base chain. So X28 has been bridged over using layer 0 over the base chain, and these new projects like Uranus are being paired up with the X28 on base chain. Now, remember, there's only one supply of X28, and that's from Ethereum, because X28 is basically TitanX, which is the omni-chain version there. So there's only ever going to be one supply. So it's a very nice, use case for that. Anyway, so that is where we are at the moment. Now, there has been some calls of the buy and burn, but it's been set down very low because they've got obviously a bigger roadmap going ahead with other protocols going to be launched, and then pairing up the LP and stuff like that. So they want to time the buy and burn, make the most out of it. So that's kind of where we are with the website. Now, there's the contracts at the bottom. You've got the contract address for Uranus, starts with 0x, ends in 58, and you got the Uranus buy and burn address, or burn address there, and that is 0x 42. So they're down there. And if you want to add Uranus to your wallet, you can click the bottom click button there to probably add it to MetaMask, maybe some other wallets as well. So that's kind of where we are there with the website. Now, if you want to check out the docs, you can do that. You click on the docs button, and that's going to get you to the main website here. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but before we do, we're going to get into my summary of the launch. So hopefully that is useful to some of you out there as well. Morning, everybody. MVS in the house there. Good to see you, MVS. Hope you're doing well. And we got Trennan as well. Hey. Good to see you, Trennan. Big shout out there. So these are some of the highlights that I've put together for the Uranus launch. So let's check it out. So the buy, sell tax, transfer tax is 12%. And of course, it has potentially to be up to 22%, but 12% is workable because there are limits to what you can do on wallets like on dexes like Uniswap, which have limits on them. They move those limits around all the time. So testing those edge cases can be a bit challenging if you haven't really been on top of that. And so the team was having to adjust the taxes there. So if you actually go to the white paper, you'll see the taxes there, 1 to 20% for the reflection tax, adjustable to reward holders based on community governance. Now, they've had to reset that at the beginning. It caused quite a bit of drama for the first hour or so. And of course, that means that it wasn't an easy pickup for the base market to pick up Uranus. So it didn't get massive wide adoption straight away with the reflection tokens and not being able to trade on Uniswap. You could trade on 1 inch, as I understand it, but that did cause some problems. So it hasn't been picked up, but there's still tons of fundamentals in the protocol that may get picked up later on. So by the wider base community. So we'll see how that goes. Now, I just wanted to keep going with this. So we've got the 12% tax, 2% is protocol tax. So what's that broken up into? Let's have a look. Well, 1% is burn. So let's burn Uranus on fire. So 1% of that tax, every time someone buys, sells, or transfers, is getting burned. And then 0.5% is going to the LP. Uranus will always be growing wider, so you're going to get more liquidity just from the taxes. And then 0.5% is going to the Genesis. No expectations of Uranus there. So those are the 2% taxes there. The other one is 10% holder reflection. So that gets you to 12%. So 2 plus 10, 10 plus 2 is 12%. Now, maximum could have been 22%, but like I say, there's a limit to what you can do on Uniswap, which I believe is 20% at the moment. Now, I think that used to be as high as like 49% on slippage, but that has come down to about 20%. So the maximum they could really reasonably do is probably 18% reflection plus 2% tax, but then you still got slippage, right? So probably even have to bring that down a little bit as well. So here we are at a pretty good level, I think. I think 10% is pretty good, and 2% protocol tax. Now, I think if I compare this like PDDC and things like that, I think they're at like 5%, something like that on Pulsechain. So here we are, 10% holder reflection and 2% protocol tax there. And of course, the protocol tax there feeding the buy and burn, feeding the LP, and of course, a little bit going to the founders there who got a big roadmap of protocols they are going to build out. So pretty cool. We've got 10% holder deflection tax. I think that's pretty good. We're going to look at how big that is at the moment after 7 hours. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up. Starting supply results. So I'll minted 554 billion got minted, which is pretty spectacular. I think that's pretty good. In fact, I had a little snapshot 6 hours before, and it was at 397. So 397, and it ended up at 554 6 hours later. So that's pretty good. So that's about 160 billion more X28 going into mint the Uranus token. So that I thought that was a pretty good result at the end there. Real flurry on the last day too. Some major amounts came in on the last day. So that was kind of what we expected, but good to see it actually happen, right? So 554 billion minted from all the plebs out there. That's you and other people. And of course, the protocol LP then minted 232 billion, and of course, put some of that into about 100 or so billion of that into the LP to kick that off. So if you actually go to the LP on Uranus, you can see it here. This is the hourly chart, and you can see at the moment the amount in the pool is about 129 billion. So they're holding off some of that supply because, of course, they're going to be putting into other LPs for other projects and webbing, right? So webbing will increase the chance of MEV bots operating. That will increase the chance of taxes. And I think a 12% tax is a pretty good midpoint, to be honest. And I think it's probably on the higher side that you'd want to go anyway. I know some people were keen on the 20%, but I just think that's pretty unreasonable these days. And of course, it's got system issues with Uniswap and stuff anyway. So I think a 10% has a much better feel to it. I think this is kind of the sweet spot for me. We'll see whether they actually lower a little bit more, but people can vote on that. But I think that's kind of a good sweet spot at the moment on that. So this is a buy, sell, transfer tax. Be careful not to transfer your tokens. I heard somebody transferred twice and lost it like 50% of the tokens. Don't be that person, right? And so just remember that. Just sit and hodl and earn those sweet reflections is probably the way to go. Now, that's the total amount. So let's have a look. Total supply started off at 786%. Yeah, 786 billion is the total supply. And that's kind of where we're at the moment. Hey, we've got some comments in the chat there. I must well get to those. So let me make sure I'm reading all the comments as we go. Hella says reflections are set at 10% right now. Absolutely. So we've got that on the board there. And we got DGen Hexkin in the house. Hey, good to see you, DGen. A big shout out to the dude, of course, and James, I think it is, launching this project. Now, that's the total supply. So let's see what the current buy and burn is. And this is, I took this just before the live stream started, only, 10 minutes or so ago. And we have 3.4 billion is the current buy and burn at the moment. And the buy and burn is set low at the moment, right? So we saw that the buy and burn is set at $26 at the moment for that. So just keep that nice and low, protect that buy and burn for the right time, right? So hold on to your hat for that, and keep tuned with the dude and that running this protocol, because they'll make it the best, work for you the best with other protocols they're building out over the next year and beyond. They're really looking at a 3-year roadmap at least, and they've got lots of cool things coming. So it's going to be really cool to see this play out. Now, so we got a buy and burn 3.4. That means the current supply, even in 7 hours, is now 783 billion. So we're down about 3.4 billion already. That's obviously going to go up during the day, and we're only 7 hours into it, and they've already burned 3.4 billion. So it's pretty cool. Now, reflections there sitting at 6 billion. So those beautiful 10% holder reflection tokens have already distributed 6 billion tokens to current holders. So it's been pretty nice. And how much does that reflect? About 1.08% return in 7 hours. So that's an absolute return in 7 hours. So pretty awesome stuff there. And I've seen some good comments in the Telegram chat about that. So yeah, it's not 20%, but it's a 10%. I think it's workable, right? I think that's a really nice sweet spot balance. And of course, they can adjust that up and down a little bit depending on where they're going. But I think it looks pretty good to me. We're at 12%. Protocol there is at, let's have a look at the protocol stats. Market cap 180K, 90K. So huge potential upside for this project. Nice sweet spot there. Liquidity 61K. And the volume there, $7,600 when I took the snapshot in only 7 hours. So that would annualize, that would, if you do a daily estimate of that, that's about 26K in volume if we keep that same run rate up. And of course, that's going to get 10% reflection tokens and accelerate this amount. So, you could end up acquiring a lot of text if that holds up there. Now, we did have early on some sellers. So let's give a look at that. We're going to go to the 15-minute chart here. On the Uranus chart here on base chain, and of course it's paired up with X28, the omni-chain version of TitanX, and we can see some of the volumes here. Someone came in and they sold like $2,700 worth. We see that happen, and see this orange line. This orange line is the 1-to-1. So Uranus is 1-to-1. Remember, the mint was 1-to-1, and this is the 1-to-1 ratio here to X28, which is paired up with. Someone came in and maybe they panicked or something, I don't know, but they sold it down and it went way down to 0.85. So one Uranus went down to 0.85. Then it went down, someone else sold it again, another volume here about $1,800, and that went all the way down to 0.76. So you're now getting a rate that is lower than the mint rate, and the taxes are 12%. So it's really a buyer's market at the moment. We saw someone come in and picked this up just a little while ago. Then we had a little buy and burn sort of chirping away at the price, pushing that up. And now we just had a seller just now in the last 15 minutes push the price down here. So someone sold $756, pushing the price down to 0.77. So at the moment, you're getting a pretty nice discount to market, probably somewhere between 10 and 15%. So you pay the 12% taxes buying it, and then you get maybe a 10 to 15% discount to the mint price with this big gap here. So it's a pretty good buyer's opportunity at the moment on the market, and doesn't take much to get it back up there. So looking pretty good at the moment from a buyer's point of view. The volume now snuck up there from that $7,600 snapshot that I took at now 8,400 with that last little sell there. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. Liquidity still at 59K and market cap still around a 180K at the moment. And that's where it's ticking away. So early days for this. Didn't get picked up, like I say, by the wider base community. That may or may not have got picked up regardless of the tax being worked out at the beginning. But that certainly caused an issue in the first hour. But at the moment, reflections are going pretty well. As we can see, it's not too bad, 6 billion there. Now, if you want to check that out, you can definitely go to the Uranus contract. So we'll go have a look at that, and we're going to check out the actual supply. So you can see actual supply now is 783. If you remember, we started off at about 786, and now we're down at 783 here with 220 holders. So early days for holders. Great to be an early holder here at the moment, and you're earning a lot of reflection tokens, and it's only been 7 hours, so it's early days there. Now, you got to look at this from the perspective, yeah, it didn't get picked up by the base market. Yeah, there was an issue with the tax, but on the other hand, you've actually got a really good tokenomics set up here on base chain. It's also, you've got a good roadmap coming with the dude and James and that pulling out other protocols. They've got LP liquidity to pair with that stuff. They're going to increase the amount of pairs. Now, whenever you've got a tax token, you do need more than one pair. So you should get more and more pairs, generally speaking, so that you can get those MEV bots working between those pairs. And then also, as the buy and burn starts to kink in, as you launch more projects, you're going to get that price chart moving up. And then you're going to get more base chain users, more TitanX users jumping in into the protocol. So I think it's very early days, a real sweet spot at the moment to get in here while there's a little bit of, weak hands. Only a couple of weak hands. We look at that chart there. There's just a couple of little weekend charts there, as you can see. But once those sort of jeets get out, then the market can really move forward. So pretty excited about where this will go. This is also the first omni-chain project on base chain, and it can sort of slowly just step itself up over time. So we're looking forward to that. And of course, the big thing here is people to get out and promote as well. So you can't, just expect just tokenomics to do it. Sometimes that can be the case, but also get out there and promote, right? That's the other part of what you have to do in crypto. So get out there, spread the word to base chain users, and of course, obviously TitanX users as well. Now, if we go to the holders chart here, we can see the top holders. And of course, we've got the actual V2 pair. So this is on a V2 pool, and of course, we can see there's 120, just 130 billion Uranus in there, 16.55% of supply. And then we've got this other pool as well, 118, which has got the I think that's the buy and burn, was it? Let me just double check. Can't remember that's in that one there. And so let's move on from that. And we've got some other big holders here, 6% on this one, B54. I'm going to go back to that one there just to see can't remember what that one is in there. Let me know in the chat there if you guys are familiar with what that is. So let me know. And we've got number 4 here. We've got some whales. So anything over 1% is considered a whale. So these ones whales here. So we've got 19. We'll take out those smart contracts. So 2 of those, and that leaves us at about 17 whales by my count to start off. And then of course we've got everyone else holding as well, 220 holders there at the moment. So we go to page 5. That is getting us pretty much close to the all the holders there, or first 100 holders. So on page 2, let's have a look here. Let's see if you want to be a shark. If you want to be shark, you're going to be over 0.1%, right? So let's see how many of those are. Well, there's 127, so less 19, let's say. So that's 118 sharks sitting in here as well. And then obviously you get into dolphins after that, right? So dolphins after that. Let's go into the to the end here. How many dolphins? I guess we got. Let's go down. Dolphins, we've got 191. So that probably makes about 70 dolphins, something in that ballpark after that. And then you get into squids, etc., all that sort of stuff, depending on how much you're into that sort of thing. And that's kind of where we are. So 220 holders at the moment. So super early days, and nice tokenomics, nice reflections, and a nice roadmap coming up for this as well. So it's going to be fun to see that. Now, the other thing that you can do is go to the contract, and let's quickly see if we've got any more comments in here. We've got DJ and Hexkin in the house there. Hey, good to see you, DJ and Hexkin. Hope you're doing well. We've got K-Mir as well. Keep up the good work. You're the best. I appreciate that. Shout out. We've got Dave in the house. Uranus soon. People with no patience will never make it. Yeah, we see it a lot, with the Jeets. Because they typically get in. They were hoping it would get picked up. It may or may not have got picked up by the market. And, of course, when it doesn't get picked up straight away, they were probably looking for a 3 to 5x. And so they exit. Basically, that's what happens there. They sold at a big loss, says Wookie. They did too. So when they do sell, they feed you reflections, right? So the fact that's what happens there. So 12%. Wookie might buy in this range, says Wookie. Says, yeah, there's probably a 10 to 15% discount, which is also upside value compared to the mint price there. Wookie's in the top 100 holders. Well done. Good to see you playing Uranus there. All right, so let's have a look at the contract info. You can go to contract and then read only under the token contract, and you can scroll down, and there's some cool functions there. Let's hopefully it updates. Seem to have got snagged there. So you can go down and you can see some key stuff, right? So you can see what the incentive fee is for the buy and burn, 30 basis points there. You can see a few other things. So look at down there. The reflection fee tells you that it's 10%. So if you're ever wondering what is the tax fee at the time, well, it's 10%. But we're hoping they put all this information on the website there, and I have posted it on Telegram. So let's see how that goes. I think the dude has responded to that. So look forward to that coming up. And then, of course, they've got a number of other functions here. But let's go down a bit further. Tokens from reflections, not that one there. Total burned. So they've got the total amount of burned. Now, whenever you see this setup here, that you got to delete nine numbers off the back of this number. That will get you to the actual number that you're after. And basically, it says 3.8 billion has been burned so far. Now, the total tokens reflected to users, you can see it's now at 6.5 billion tokens. So you just take off 9 zeros, but basically just take the front of the number. 6.5 billion there has been burned. So it's even bigger than the numbers I took a snapshot of before the live stream there. And what else we got there? Total suppliers in there too. Once again, take 9 numbers off there, and that's 83. 783, and you can see that number at the top here anyway. That's where that number up there. So there are a couple of numbers there. If you want to come and see that, you can do that on your own. How about that? And of course, the whole numbers there too. So pretty cool. All right. Yeah, that is kind of the overview there. Like I say, that is where the taxes are as well. And so, yeah, looking forward to the growth of this project. Only 7 hours in, and we'll just see how those volumes go. And of course, can't wait for other projects and other LP pairings as well to come up. And then we can get some MEV bot activity there as well. So more projects, more LP webbing, and of course, that is that I know what that is now. I just realized what that is. So let me go back to this wallet. So this second wallet here, that is the LP webbing. This one here. So that's what's left over. This one here. That will be the LP webbing, and yeah. So this is when we come back to here. I've talked about this protocol LP 232 billion. Well, we can come and see that down here. It's called Sponsored Call V2, and they minted it out of nothing after the mint had closed, and they minted 232 billion Uranus tokens. They put some into the into the contract, and the rest of it is just sitting here in Uranus, right? So that is where we are at the moment. And of course, some of this other stuff will be related to that 0.5% LP tax, right? That we talked about. So where was it? Where's the website for that? So this 0.5% here going into that contract. So there we go. We worked it all out. How about that? So not bad. Wookie's always in the something, so it makes sense to be in Uranus. You're always in the toilet. That's what we're trying to say. So that is kind of it. We worked it all out about that. I think so. We've covered everything on Uranus. Not too bad. That is the chart at the moment. Someone's come in and done a little bit of buying there. Not too bad. And of course, don't forget to smash the rocket there as well. If you guys want to pick some up, you can typically use, I think, Uniswap, 1 inch, things like that. CowSwap, definitely not, because CowSwap doesn't do reflection tokens. So you won't be able to use that to go and buy some. But you're definitely getting a discount at the moment compared to mint price. I don't know how long that lasts. I do not know. But it's certainly sitting there right for you to potentially take. Obviously not financial advice, do your own due diligence, all that good stuff. And this is speculative, but hey, I think it's set up pretty nicely there. And looking forward to what the dude and that have got up their sleeve as we move forward. All right. I think that's kind of it for Uranus. Let's move away from that as well. Post the link to the website also if you want to check that out. Those are the key ones there. So that is the contract. If you want to pick up some on base chain, remember that you can use like MetaMask and Rabby wallet and wallets like that, and you can use the bridge feature inside MetaMask and Rabby. Rabby's pretty easy. You can bridge over your Ethereum over to base chain. You'll need just a very tiny amount for transaction, and of course X28 over there you can buy it over on base chain, or you can just bridge it over using the X28 app. So those are some of the little tips there. If you want to pick up some, and you just sit on it, right? Just sit on it. Remember, don't transfer it if you don't want to, because that you're going to get charged a 12% tax. Remember that. So if you only move it if you're going to sell it, pretty much. Remember that. So Uranus28.win, that's the website there. All right. So congratulations to the dude. I think it's James as well on that launch. There we go. So I think that's a pretty good summary there of this protocol. Now we're going to get into some of the other stuff going on at the moment. We're going to highlight it very quickly. It's TitanX at the moment. As I say, try and hold on to that bottom range. Very important. It does, I think. It's very important it holds on to this level at 9 zeros, 1100. So let's see how we go. Now, DragonX there, it's sitting at 6.7 TitanX. That's down a little bit from 7 yesterday. We're at 7 TitanX was the ratio of DragonX. It's down to 6.7. X28, of course, has actually climbed a little bit. The ratios was 95 yesterday. It's climbed to 0.96. So X28 versus TitanX. That's made that a bit better. Shogun at the moment just sleeping there at 5.37 thousand, so 5,370 X28 to Shogun. I'm still wondering whether that will be going over the base chain. I think there's a good chance of it. Just not sure how that setup might occur with Jake. So let's see how that goes. Let's see. Wookie's got a bit of a comment there. Well done, boys. Nice one there. Yeah. To the dude and that. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, so let's jump over to some of the other things. Now, Hyper and Hydra, of course, pretty much minted out. We're looking for some action in there within the next couple of weeks because the buy and burn of Hydra got turned down. And that's all part of the, I think, the global coordinated plan here for TitanX. So looking forward to see some moves by Jake Sharp and Eric. And that's going to be fun to see that play out. Now, the dude obviously not only did he do Uranus, but also Helios. Helios down 12% at the moment. The ratio to TitanX 0.6 at the moment. Volt, of course, you guys know I'm bullish on Volt. It's down 3% today, but the ratio is still holding up pretty good. 9,160 TitanX per 1 volt. And remember, Volt is actually getting scarcer and scarcer. Let's have a look. It's going down by about 800,000 a day. So we're sitting at 581 million. At the moment, 44.61% is liquid. Now, Stevie D, the mad scientist, is really trying to time this project. He's obviously got Thunder Volt staking ready. It's ready to go. He's just timing the best time. I don't know what is the best time, but he's timing it. Maybe when TitanX starts to move. I don't know, something like that. And he's also got, obviously, Ouroboros has invited Volt along with ORX token to be one of the tokens for the next collateral. So far, Ouroboros is TitanX and DragonX. So that's another huge thing. And obviously, you can already participate on Titan Farms as well. So there's quite a lot of use cases for Volt, and the Volt supply is going down pretty fast every day. And the other thing is, of course, Bitcoin Genie's coming. You guys all know I'm a huge fan of that. Can't wait for the white paper, and that could be a massive game changer in DeFi 3.0. Yeah, the mad scientist there. So we're getting some really cutting edge tokenomics from Stevie D. We get some good tokenomics there from the dude. These guys are really pushing the DeFi scene and the meme scene as well. So excited about where that goes. So Volt there, I know it's going to have its day in the sun, second day in the sun, as it were. Now let's move down to some of these others. I just want to go down to Ouroboros. So everything's just only down a little bit. It's not a big movements across the board in TitanX today, just slightly down. Viper though down 21%. That's down at 395 DragonX and Viper there taking a little bit hit today. Everything else is kind of a bit mixed, isn't it? But with slightly downward pressure at the moment. I see Morpheus and Flux are both down 12 and 15% at the moment. And we're waiting for stuff from Morpheus with Brandon and more V3 dexes, probably to Basechain and Pulsechain is our guess there, expectation. And of course, Jake Sharp talked about taking more utilities over to Basechain. Now let's have a look here. Element 280, as we talked about, another one of the dude's projects, down 5.3%. Kind of got some of the same aspects as Uranus there, but of course, pretty heavy buy and burn over on Uranus as well. Let's go into the next one there. We're just going to scroll down a little bit more. I want to get down into Ouroboros. Now, Ouroboros, of course, the big lending protocol and stablecoin. Let's go check this out and see what the numbers look like here for Ouroboros at the moment. So we're going to go to the USDX minter here and have a look at how this is performing after about 4 days. So let's have a look. Actually, I haven't even got it connected at the moment. That's probably why. So we're going to pull that back and let me just connect on that one. Let me just jump back in here. And I'm not even sure what wallet I've got on this one, so I'll have to double check. So let's hope it's the right one. All right, so bam. Let's see what we got. We got loaded on here. Is that all? Okay. All right, so let me just connect up to this, and we're going to be able to get this in play. Let's see if it mints here. So we're going to go to the system stats, and I'm going to pull that back up. Let's get back in the scene here. Bam. All right. So this is the USDX minter here on the Ouroboros. I'll post the link in the video description. Now you can go and put TitanX or DragonX as collateral, and you can borrow against it. Now you need to understand what you're doing and lending on here. But apart from that, that's what you can do. I think Cryptographics has got some good how-to videos on this, so you can check that out as well. That is Ouroboros system. We've been following this the first couple of days while it's been launching, and let's check it out, the stats at the moment. So let's go down. So we're sitting at $1,088,000 in TVL. Now we know prices have come down a bit, right? And that's where we're at the moment, DragonX and TitanX. So we're still sitting pretty similar numbers to what we had yesterday, but noting that the TitanX and DragonX prices are down a little bit today, 1.7% and 6% respectively on those. And let's have a look at Ouroboros as well, which is the main token for this platform. It is at 4.8 cents, and of course a bit of profit taking there, probably some circulating back into the protocol itself has happened there with that profit taking as well. So people can go back into the farms as well on Titan Farms. So they can either go into LP yielding here on the Ouroboros or go into the Titan Farms, which had a pretty attractive yield, right, for USDX, USDC. We'll go check to see what that looks like at the moment. So let me know your thoughts where money may have gone in there, but these are kind of the two incentive pools. Still sitting at 315% on Titan Farms for USDC, USDX, which is incredible for stablecoin, right? Now we think that on Pulsechain having like 12% is pretty good for stablecoin pools, the trifecta pool on Pulsechain, but this is 315%. Wow, pretty amazing. All right, so let's see. That's probably caused some fuss there. And of course, people selling back in the TitanX, collateralizing, going into that pool, for example, could be one method there. But let's have a look at Ouroboros back in here, and we can see that's still holding up pretty well. Let's have a look at the debt issued. So the collateral is 1.1 million. The debt issued is $490,000 in USDX. Not bad. And we've got 330K in DragonX. That's sitting at 158 billion. That's pretty similar to yesterday. And 2.43 trillion TitanX on the collateral side, which is up just a little bit from yesterday, about 30 billion by my count, around about that. So up a little bit on the collateral. So that's where we are at the moment. Let's jump over to the total health is at 216%. The aggregate health of the collateral across all types, and the backstop pool stats are at 87.6%. And I know that Shadows was trying to get this to in due course into about 70%. Now, obviously, this has been a multi-day ramp up, and so we've got actual liquidity has started to move higher on USDX, but I think it's got some way to go in terms of that ramp up. So let's quickly look at the contract there. Actually, what I might do is I might go to Deck Screener and have a look for it. Let me just jump back here. I think the contract's down the bottom, isn't it, somewhere? USDX stable. Let's copy that in. And we're going to pump that in. I'm not sure if I actually have it preloaded already. Probably do. Let's go to TitanX. And it's probably in here somewhere. But we're going to add it in anyway if it's not. So let's go add that. That's not what I was trying to do. How did that get in there? I copied it for sure. Let's see. Let's try that one more time. Let's copy that. Yeah, let's copy. And let's have a look at that again. And yep, so that's come up. So yeah, that's definitely gone up a lot since yesterday. So that's pretty cool. We're going to put that in the TitanX. And let's have a look at that. So yeah, really gone up a lot. So liquidity is now at 50K. And yesterday, I think that was at 23K. And I think they have like up to $500,000 to be able to put into the LP, something like that. So they're going to slowly ramp that up, as my guess. But at 50K now, definitely got bigger, right? So kind of cool. Volume in the last 24 hours has been 60K, so bigger than LP liquidity. That's really cool. And let's have a look at the ratio breakdown. 27,904 USDX with a 22,492 USDC there. So 27 and 22K respectively. And this is in a V3 pool on a Uniswap. So not bad. Now, I think they're also looking to use V4. So they're talking about that with the hooks and stuff. So that could be pretty interesting. So that is Ouroboros on the main stats. Anything else we want to talk about there? 25 active loans on TitanX and 28 on a DragonX. So DragonX has definitely gone up a lot because I thought that was down at like 12, remember? And that's gone up to 28. So big jump in the DragonX side there over the last day and a half. Let's jump over to the RX staking. Now, I don't know what the yield is on this, so let me know if you know what the yield is on RX staking. But USDX staking, that has been pretty amazing. Was it 2 days ago? It was like 2,200%. No, 3 days it was 2,200%. 3 days, I think it was 2 days it was like 1,600%. And I think yesterday it was like 1,200%. It's now at 780% APR on USDX deposit. Pretty spectacular, right? So you got 780% on US deposits over here on Ouroboros, and you got 315% on USDC, USDX, a stablecoin pair. Pretty attractive, right? Pretty damn attractive. So that's doing pretty well. Now, as I understand it, redemptions are not active yet. If I recall that PUSD They didn't have redemptions for like 6 weeks, was it? So I don't know when that's callable. If anyone knows, let me know in the chat there. But that's not yet. I'm pretty sure that's not yet available yet. That normally comes in a bit later. And I'm pretty sure I saw Shadows talk about that, saying it's not available yet. Now, liquidations, though. So they have had 1 or 2 liquidations, as far as I know. So at least one. So that's definitely in there. And, of course, people are looking for the liquidations, right? Because I think you get a fee for that, right? So if you liquidate them. Now, at the moment, the only raw weak one there is this $2,000 loan, 8.4 billion TitanX collateral, and 130% is the health there at the moment. So, let's see where it goes there. 110%, I think, is the sort of trigger point. Yep, and that's the USDX minter. So if you actually want to mint out something, you can put your TitanX and your DragonX in here, and you can open up a loan, basically. Remember, it's pretty close to 0 interest, pretty much, but you can check out all the details. You need to have a good minimum collateral ratio. You don't want to get liquidated and then later on, when the protocol opens up redemptions, be vulnerable to that. But typically, I don't know. I typically see the system at the moment's got 216%, but typically you might want to have 350% or something like that to keep yourself out of any redemption setups. Once again, check it out and have a look. So that's kind of the play there. RRX minter. Let's see the supply over there at the moment. So 50 million have been minted so far. 529 million are still investing. So they come mature, they sort of get dripped, don't they? And so on. So yeah, total supply, future supply is 778 million. There we go. And there's 4 trillion TitanX sitting in the buy and burn balance. Pretty awesome, right? So 4 trillion there, and if you add up the collateral, so you've got 4 trillion. That's about over 6 trillion, right? That's gone into the system, and that's pretty good. It's pretty good. So yeah, not bad. I think what do we have for Hydra? Hydra was obviously spectacular, but that is pretty neat. In fact, we can go and have a look on a TitanX hub and have a look at that. So let's go do that, shall we? Let's give a look at the burners, so we can just scroll down and we can see Ouroboros down here, 6.6 trillion TitanX. Not bad, right? It's pretty good performance. 6.5 trillion locked, I say, and 124 billion there in the LP. So that's sitting at number 5 at the moment by total TitanX. And of course, above that is Shogun at 10 trillion. And then above that is X28 at 14.4 trillion. And of course, remember, X28 is pretty powerful, and that mechanism really hasn't been turned on yet. So let's see what happens to X28. I'm sure Jake's got some tricks up his sleeves with that. There's a number of options he's got there. And remember, every time someone transforms TitanX to X28, 50% of the TitanX gets burned off. It gets destroyed. And remember, X28 is TitanX. So if X28 is burning off 50%, it's a pretty powerful mechanism. We haven't seen we've seen sort of modest stuff lately, but man, if you get those ratios to TitanX up on the market, currently that's at discount. But if you get it the premium, you'd really start getting some cycling there. If you get obviously more growth in the ecosystem, both on Ethereum and Basechain, then that's also going to help with TitanX getting converted to X28. Particularly the move to Basechain, right? That's why Uranus is the first big one to go there at the moment. Next up is Hyper for 15.8 trillion, and then DragonX at the top there, 18.25 trillion. Still the king of the hill, as they say. Now Eric loves that. Eric loves being the king of the hill. He's a winner, right? He loves being a winner, and everyone loves winners, right? Yeah. There we go. That's good stuff. Keep it good work there. Not far beyond below Erebos is actually Helios. So that's the dude's project. He's the one that just launched Uranus. That's at 2.5 trillion. So it's pretty good. And good old Stevie D, the mad scientist, also close to 2.5 trillion on Vault as well. So pretty good there as well. So not bad. All right. Let's jump over to anything else we want to talk about. Well, those are the big ones that have been launching. We're at the early days on Uranus and Ouroboros. So we'll keep track of those in the days and the weeks ahead. What's coming up next, of course, I'm particularly excited about is a Bitcoin Genie that's going to benefit Vault. Very excited about that. Is game-changing DeFi 3.0, and it's going to be more from a buyers and sustainability point of view. Excited about that. And another one that I'm excited about is Taurus from Cryptographics, potentially another one that's got that buying tokenomics set just right. So we're going to keep a lookout for those 2 projects coming up. That's definitely pushing the boundaries there. All right, that's pretty much it on TitanX. Hope you guys enjoyed that one at the moment. The other thing I was going to say, anything that lifts TitanX as well, Tink Farms on the price chart there, where'd it go? It's currently at 7.2 cents. Anything that lifts that is going to lift the whole system because it's going to lift the yields, and that will attract more capital into them, and therefore more demand on all these prices, generally speaking. So we'll keep a lookout for that as well as what happens on base chain, right? That's why getting out marketing on base chain is very important, and Uranus is the first project here. All right, so that is pretty much it on our TitanX coverage. I think they also had a dev session on X as well. So there were updates on there. I didn't end up watching that, so but I'll try and watch that today. Maybe bring out any insights for that tomorrow. All right, so we're going to get into the rest of the market. We're going to get into Pulsechain and stuff, and crypto generally. So we're 45 minutes on the hour, so doing pretty good time. Let's pull this in. No stock market today, of course. It is Sunday in the United States. It might be Monday here down under in New Zealand, but it's still only Sunday there in the United States there. So Bitcoin's 96,300, down 1.5%. Bitcoin dominance at 58.5%. So still holding a good spot here above 92K. Pretty important number. And so far, so good. I'm expecting a lot of capital to come in the next couple of months into crypto. And I think we're still going to hear from Trump around the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve and things like that. So I think there's a lot of bullish news to come up. Obviously, at the moment, Trump's moved from domestic policy into a lot of foreign policy just for the moment. But obviously, he's working all fronts, domestic and foreign. Yeah, he's going to get things happening. So there we go. We got Ethereum there is down 1.2% at $2,664. We got XRP down 1% at $2.73. Solana down 3% at $108. And ADA down 1.25% at 77.3 cents. Litecoin, which was a big winner yesterday, is down 6% at the moment, $125. What else we got going here? So we have some winners. We have BNB is up 2% at $677, and Tron up 2.3% at 24 cents. Not bad there. And we'll make a mention to Pulsechain, down 4% at $3.27. So those are some of the leaders there. But let's get into Pulsechain and have a look at that for day 646. Pulse at the moment, quadruple 045, up 2.8% at 45% in mean sacrifice price. We got Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 0353. That is up 0.75%. Still sitting at 35% of mean sacrifice price. Man, oh man, oh man. These are just sitting there, man. Once the Pulsechain really gets the hyper move, these cheap prices are going to go. At the moment, this is pretty amazing. I did a video yesterday on the top 5 fundamentals, and I should do one on another video on the top 7 because there is 7, but picked off those top 5. We got Burn there is 1.27 trillion, and that is at 6.4% of the Pulsex is bought up and Burn. So we've been seeing some real nice growth in that buy and burn with a massively increased volumes. Obviously, Pump.Tires platform that Richard launched has definitely helped with that. And just general volumes picking up. We're also getting more projects, I think more developers coming over, building on Pulsechain. And I think we're just getting a maturity in the ecosystem. Are you feeling that? That's the maturity there. Now, as you guys know, this week, we got the Signum Oracle coming, baby. I'm excited about it because it's going to open up a lot of new projects on Pulsechain, particularly Jacob, of course, the number one GameFi, DeFi, peer-to-peer dev in the world, in my opinion. So we're looking forward to some updates there around all this casino sites, potentially Mafia, and of course, as you guys know, the flagship, in my opinion, PUSD ALGO, and of course, looking forward to that. So we're at $2.49 at the moment for INC, the ratio at 55,500, and of course, as you guys all know, the inflation for that is now 20 times lower, so 5% of what it used to be. 5% of what it used to be, and the total supply only 55 million. So you're not expecting that to grow very fast at all, which puts potential a lot of pressure on INC. Now, there's a number of things he could do with INC as addition to all the rest of this. He could get single side staking. He could do new protocols. There's lots of things that could pump. And you imagine doing all these at the same time or one after another. The chain goes up in value pretty quickly when you start locking supply away. You get more demand pressure. You start thinning out the liquidity pools, start pushing up those prices. It is pretty crazy there. Hex at the moment at 1.34 cents, up 3%. EHEX at 33 hundredths of a penny, so it's a third of a penny there on Ethereum. And the combined price 1.67 cents now at the moment on Hex. So those are the numbers today. A little bit of green, and great opportunity to get on Pulsechain still. Now we're still waiting for the court case hanging over the heads there, but I'm 75% plus probability that's heading in our favor. Either the court case will get dropped, or the SEC new leadership will drop the case, or just cool it all off. So still pretty favorable for that. One guy at the moment on Ethereum, 21 times cheaper than Ethereum at the moment on Pulsechain. 2.8 million beats. So we're getting used to these elevated beats. Remember, it used to be like 200,000 beats. Now we're sitting at 2.8 million. We've had some pretty horrendous, gas prices up at 25 million beats earlier, which are these ones here, these big candles. We're currently 5 cents at the moment to a Pulsechain swap. So, as the chain gets more valuable, the prices go up, right? So that's kind of what we're seeing. More demand there. Pulsechain gets more valuable. And of course, pump ties definitely played a role in that. Validators, 46,279 validators at the moment on Pulsechain. Pretty steady. And the bridge, how's it doing? Slightly down from yesterday, maybe about $500,000 or so. That's 119.8 million. So there we go. I think it was about 120.6 or something. So maybe it's maybe about 800,000, something like that from yesterday. There we go on that one. Let's jump over to the volumes. 38 million in volume. That's definitely down from yesterday. I think we were like 53 million. So we're at 38 today, but still not bad. And transactions 340,000. Top coins at the moment. A lot of these are coming off Pump.tires, that new platform Richard launched. You can see they're like 20 hours, 2 hours long, with hundreds of percents of gains in there. Very speculative, very risky, these, of course, but they add a lot of volume into the chain, and they burn a lot of Pulse, right, and Pulsex. So that's the other thing they do. Right, so what else we got here? 14-day goes. We had this Pump tires. So it's been around for 2 weeks. It must be 2 weeks it's been around. Wow, that's crazy. 29% up today on the old Pump tires. That's the main token for Pump tires, right? So it has been around for 2 weeks. That's crazy. Let's have a look at Pump tires, and have a look at it. Just got pumped a little bit today in the last hour. Let's have a look at the daily. That is the chart there at the moment. So it's actually not too bad. Is it going to bounce off this 1200th of a penny? Currently at 1.5 cents. Let's see. Keep your track out on that one. It is kind of the principal platform there. In fact, what's the market cap on that? 15 million, it says. Okay, 427k liquidity. Let's jump over to some of these others. We've got Teddy Bear, obviously, been around for a long time. Teddy Bear, the meme coin there from James Maria, the super genius. The guy that said that he knew how to create a formula for a random number. That'd be holy grail. He'd get a Nobel Prize for that, wouldn't he? But that's up 28%. Also, the guy that does the Troper, and that's been a very clever mechanism, arbitrage, webbing, and all that sort of stuff on Pulsechain. PDI is that this is the Pump tires one. Be careful out there because Pump tires, people have launched some of the same tokens that are already copied with the Pulsechain fork. So you got to be careful there. Just look at the day age and you'll quickly tell which one's which. So just take note. Now there's sometimes a speculative opportunity in picking up new tokens, even if it's the duplicate of the other one. But just taking on a lot more risk doing that, right? Right else we got going ALGO there, which is associated with Hex, right? That's up 20.68%. That's sort of how's ALGO getting on actually? Let's have a look at that. So obviously this will fly with Hex, right? Kind of benefit as Hex there. It's doing pretty well, isn't it? Doing pretty well. 0005 at the moment. 0005. Market cap at 13 mil. That says. All right. So moving down, Finvestor, which has been one of the better performers recently. That's up 20% as well. Let's have a quick look at Finvestor. Yeah, look at that. Wow, got big mega pump today. $13.50. Previous high was $14.76. Not bad there, right? Not bad. Let's go have a look at the website for Finvestor. Let's check that out. Bam, bam, bam. Let's go look at the site there. Now we've got some more comments in the chat, so let's jump to those. We got Brennan says PDI to the moon. Yeah, PDI to the moon. And if PDI maker theory comes out, that could be one of the 7 fundamentals, right? Pulsechain. Actually a mega one. I'm here for the tech, says Fast Abdul. He's here for the tech, but he loves bribes, taking bribes as well. Yes, if investor 3% buy, sell, transfer tax. So we saw Uranus there's got 12%. And 1% for investor rewards, 1% buy and burn, and 1% self-burn for offset inflation. So that is investor. People seem to like that. It's got farms and staking from the looks of it. So that is being pumped big time today. Wow. What else we got there? A Troper. We talked about that with Teddy Bear, James Maria, the super dev. And, that's up 18% at 6 cents at the moment. Let's have a quick look at that one, eh? Oh, actually, I've accidentally chosen the wrong one, have I? No, a Tropa. So like a Tropa is on a V2 pool. Yeah, it's definitely had a trade-off there. Man, look at that rally, though, eh? Look at that rally. Beautiful, right? Look at that thing. That rally, that's pretty cool. Obviously bounced at the moment of 5 cents and currently up at 6.1 cents with a bit of volume coming in there today from the old Tropa one. What else is looking pretty interesting? BFF is up 7.5%, and PDC the Greys. Let's have a look at the pulse pair for that though. UFO is up 15%, not bad. Let's have a quick look at UFO, 4.5 million. Let's have a quick look at UFO. This is obviously supportive of PDC the Greys as well. Look at that chart, pretty awesome, eh? Pretty awesome. You can't say you haven't been able to make money on Pulsechain if you pick the right ones. Quadruple 078, not bad there. Now, a lot of the PRC 20s are doing pretty well relative to the beginning of Pulsechain, so you would have done fairly well picking up those. That had been one of your strategies. But PDC the Greys is up 15% as well today. Look at this chart. Woo! Hot dog and a dog. That is spectacular, isn't it? A great chart there. And it's currently up at 0.0095 versus Pulse. And look at the ratio to Pulse. So let's have a look at that. Oh, man, look at that pump today, man. Wow, big mega pump today. And, of course, we're up to 21 Pulse per PDC. It bounced off 18.8 here. Look at that, the last 2 days. And up at 21 there. In fact, it actually made a new all-time high today. Can you believe it? 21.91. The previous all-time high was 21.78 back here on the 9th of February. Thing keeps pushing higher. Here. Isn't that crazy? Let's go have a look at the website. PDC the Greys. Why not? We're looking at Uranus. We looked at all that stock economics over on BaseChain. Let's have a look here. I think I got all the details in here. What there? Yeah. So they got a 5% burn, 0.5% liquidity, 2% DAO, a 1% holder and staker reflection, and a 1% staker reflection. So what's that? 3, 4, 5%. 5% tax. So that compares to Uranus, which had a 10% reflection tax. It's got a 1%, and also had a 2% system tax feeding the burn liquidity. And not the DAO in this case, but 1% was going 1%. Yeah, 1% was it? Going to 0.5% was going to the Genesis, 1% to the burn, and 0.5% to the liquidity LP wallet, which we looked at. So it gives you some comparison between Uranus and the Greys, which has been one of the best performers on the old Pulsechain. So, keep a lookout for Uranus, folks, and an opportunity to get discount to mint price. Not bad there. All right. And of course, you've got to get out and promote, though. And you got to have a lot of good holders. That definitely helps, and sit back and just earn those nice fees there. Not bad. And looks like UFO got launched with PDC. The dude and that are planning to launch other projects on the BaseChain there too. So it's going to get a lot more love over there. So those are some of the highlights over here at the moment. What else we got going? Maker contract sitting at $17.59. So if you're in the PDI Maker theory, PDI and Maker are doing pretty well today, and at up 8.3%. Now, if Maker theory turns out to be correct, there's a lot of good evidence for it. Then this price could probably absolutely hyper pump, right, from $7. But we'll see. It's still speculative, but some good evidence out there. And it makes sense, right? A lot of those contracts getting enacted over on Pulsechain from the Ethereum fork copy. It makes a lot of sense that would be a mechanism for pumping Pulsechain in due course. Now, what else? That's kind of it at the moment. There are lots of a good number of tokens over 10% today. Not bad, even with volumes down a bit at 38. But things are turning a little bit there. And we saw some minor green stuff for rich art tokens. Not bad at all. All right, so that brings us up to almost an hour. So I think we're going to wrap up there. Let's see if any other comments. We've got Wookie says the Greys chart hurts Wookie's eyes. Says Wookie. Yeah, you like the Greys chart. You like it a lot. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Congratulations to the dude. And that was a great launch. Obviously, a bit of trixies there around the taxes there. I'm not sure whether they did edge cases around setting taxes, but Uniswap does change their slippage amounts, I think, every so often, at least as far as I remember. I typically have never traded a tax that's up near 20% other than Mafia on Pulsechain, which is 16%, right? So it's not high, not testing that 20% cap. So easily done. But in any case, the buy and burn looks great. The future projects and the webbing is going to be very important to increase those volumes. MEV bot activity on base. Base is super cheap, so it's going to be good. And reflections, sitting back, earning those sweet reflections, really, really nice. And let's see what it does compared to, say, PGC the Greys on Pulsechain with those slightly higher taxes, and not slightly higher, 7 percentage points higher. And let's see how that goes. The other thing is promoting. Got to get out the promote as well. But yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm pretty excited about it, and it is the first mover over there on base chain. What else are we going to say? I think that's it. If you haven't got to Telegram for Uranus, go and check it out on the TitanX hub. You can go to find Uranus and join the Telegram and become part of the community there. Get out and start promoting and all the good stuff. Pick up some bags if that's something that suits you. It's definitely a discount at the moment. Yeah, pretty cool. The other one, of course, Ouroboros, we're following that. Going to be pretty important to move from 1.1 million over the next week or two up into a couple of $1 million. That would be pretty strong. And also looking to see some of those dials turned on over the next few weeks when the TitanX ecosystem, Hyper Hydra, TitanX perhaps, and DragonX, of course, sitting on the buy and burn. So a lot of them just sitting on this buy and burn, waiting to turn them on because they're obviously rolling out a roadmap, right? So you got to be patient with that. Pulsechain, of course, probably at least 7 mega pump metals. So I'm going to do a video on that. That sounds good. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. If you haven't got into PUSD ALGO, get 90% bonus at the moment. And I've lost my studio. I've actually lost my studio. Where's my studio screen gone? I can't end the show because I can't find my studio. Oh, there it is. It's sitting right in the back. How about that? That's crazy, crazy stuff. So yeah, and I'll be doing another political show later tonight because people are enjoying it and getting good feedback on that. So I'm going to pick a nice, cool topic for that and get into that one as well. So I'll catch you later on today for that one. Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, join our Discord, and catch you on the next one. Bye for now.